Hello beautiful people, I have with me here the Natasha Denona Midi Bronze Palette. This was released last year, but I just picked it up recently when I picked up the Midi Retro because they were having a sale where each of this palette would cost $55 instead of the usual price of $65 if I bought it together. So as this is one of the popular palettes, I decided to pick it up to give it a try for myself. As we can see from the color story, the tones does look quite similar, except for these two shades here, the deeper shades, which is called Rhodium, described as a medium warm purple with silver reflect, as well as Deep Dive, which is a deep brown eggplant. For today's video, I'll be doing 5 looks and I'll try to see if it's possible to make the looks different from each other. Let's start with the looks and I'll come back at the end of the video and share with you my thoughts and review of this palette. Let's start. My thoughts after trying on this palette is that I find the shades very easy to blend out, and these shades are neutral, warm tones that makes it very easy to use for daily wear. And the matte shades here are the creamy matte formula, which blends out quite easily. What I noticed about the palette is that the shades lean more yellow or more reddish bronze. So for example, over here we can see the shade leaning towards the yellow side. This shade here, Sundown, is a medium light yellow brown. And the matte shade here called Beige, described as a medium warm mustard. I do like the shade called Beige here. This is the shade here. It's quite a nice lighter shade to act as a base color or a transition color. And the tones leaning more towards the red side is this one here called Suntan and Magma. So depending on the creamy mattes that we start with, the shades can lean more reddish or more yellowish. And for the shade Rhodium here, it is definitely an interesting color in this palette. The shade is described as a medium warm purple with silver reflect and is a dual chrome. As I shift my hand, we can see the warm purple with the silver reflect. And what I like about this palette, this shade here, Deep Dive, I can use it to darken up the eye look or to use it as a liner, which I've been using. We can see the color as is described as a deep brown eggplant shade. And for this shade here called Deep Dive, it is a cream to powder formula. That means it is of a denser texture, so to blend it out, it's different from a creamy matte formula in the sense that it's actually easier to blend out slowly and with a little bit more pressure. That means maybe perhaps with a denser brush would help. What I noticed about the cream to powder formula is that there is hardly any fallout. We don't have to worry about cleaning up any fallout after using the shade. And in this palette, I do quite like this color here called Bliss because it has a pink tone in it. Bliss is described as a red pink with golden green reflex. When I want to brighten up the eye look, I can use the brighter colors here called Silk, which is a metallic, or True Bronze. So Silk is described as a foiled rich champagne, and True Bronze is a chroma crystal and is described as a foil bronze. In fact, they do look quite similar next to each other. One way to come up with more colors is perhaps to actually layer the colors. So what I tried is putting Rhodium first, and then to add on a lighter color like Bliss on top of it. I'll just do half of it to see the difference. On camera it doesn't really seem to pick up, but can you see the difference? This one is more purplish and this one has changed the tone a little bit. But whether it's different enough, maybe it does help a little bit. For myself, for the inner corner highlight, I reached for the color Silk as well as True Bronze. Do feel free to share your thoughts on this palette and what do you think about this palette. Thank you for joining me today, and if you have not subscribed yet, do consider subscribing if you'd like to join me for future videos. I look forward to having you join me again on my next video. Stay beautiful. Bye!